As snowflakes hit the windows, Tomi watched the unusual activity in the house with curiosity. For 7 years he had known every corner of this house, the meaning of every sound. But today everything was different. His mother had been excited since morning and his father was constantly on the phone. There was a sense of urgency somewhere, a feeling of waiting. Tomi's big brown eyes stared blankly at the suitcases, the hospital bag, the small room being prepared. It seemed someone else would be living in this house now. But who? When the door opened, Tomi ran, as he always did, to show his affection. But this time his mother and father were holding a very small, very delicate package in their hands. The package was breathing. The package was crying. "Tomi, come meet her," said his mother softly. "This is Ayla." Tomi brought his nose closer. This tiny thing was human but much smaller than himself. She smelled completely different, like milk, powder, and innocence. His instinct suddenly whispered an important truth to him. "This is now your responsibility." That night, Tomi didn't leave the crib. Every time Ayla cried, his ears pricked up. Every time she breathed, his eyes opened. He knew from years of experience, some beings need protection. And now this little human was under his protection. As the months passed, a language developed between them that words could not describe. Even before Ayla could speak, her eyes would light up when she saw Tomi, and she would try to touch him with her tiny hands. Tomi, meanwhile, was constantly alert, trying to understand her every little need. Ayla's first crawl happened under Tomi's guidance. The dog would lie down in front of the baby, extending his paw as if to say, "Come here, it's safe." If Ayla fell, Tomi was right there. If Ayla smiled, Tomi's tail would wag with excitement. When she learned to take her first steps, Ayla would try to walk by clinging to whatever she could hold on to. Her favorite place to hold on was Tomi's back. When the dog felt her little hands on his back, he would freeze, waiting motionless for her to find her balance. To me, that was her first word. Mom and Dad knew this wasn't normal. Babies usually said mama or dada. But for Ayla, the most important thing in the world was her big furry friend who was always by her side. When Tomi heard that word, his tail wagged so fast he almost fell over. He ran to Ayla and licked her face in a show of joy. From that moment on, he responded with the same enthusiasm every time he heard his name. As Ayla grew older, their games became more complex. When they played hide and seek, Tomi always found where Ayla was hiding, but instead of betraying her, he would sit next to her and wait quietly for the game to continue. When they played ball, Tomi wouldn't fetch the ball. He would drop it at Ayla's feet to give it to her. Years passed. Tomi's fur began to turn gray, his steps grew heavier. But when Ayla started school, he continued to walk her to the door every morning and wait for her return every evening. He couldn't run anymore, but his love had not diminished. Ayla was now 7 years old. At dinner, she asked her mother, "Mom, Tomi will always be with me, won't he?" Her mother tried to explain that Tomi was getting old, that dogs live differently than humans. But seeing the worry in Ayla's eyes, she chose a different approach. "Do you see how much Tomi loves you? That kind of love never disappears. He will always live in your heart." That night, as Ayla lay down in her bed, Tomi lay down beside her as usual. The little girl put her hand on the dog's head. "Tomi," she said, "you will always be my best friend. You know that, right?" Tomi, as if he understood, brought his head closer to the girl's hand. His eyes were tired but full of love. He knew he had come into this world to protect this little human, and he had fulfilled his duty successfully. And that night, as the two friends slept side by side, there was warm love in the house. Time may pass, friendships may fade, but some bonds last forever. Because true friendship is not just a bridge between a dog and a child, it is a treasure hidden in the deepest part of the heart. When the morning sun filtered into the room, Ayla opened her eyes and found Tomi, just as always, right beside her, protecting her. "Good morning, my best friend," she whispered. And Tomi's tail wagged once more, filled with love.